Welcome back, everybody, to episode 179 of The Lookout. We actually are at 179 of these things. I'm, of course, Meelz, but I am not here alone. As you can see, we got a crowded house this week. We got multiple people this week. We got none other than, first of all, co-host LJ. LJ, what up? What's up, man?
Yo, what's good? How y'all feeling?
What's
you being cool out there?
Huh?
Are you staying cool out there?
I'm staying cool. No, I'm staying cool. Last week was a disaster. Like last week was last week between the sound and me like legitimately sweating on camera. Yeah, it was a disaster. I had to edit out that episode and everything.
Yeah, listen, bro. People don't like me for my summer stance, but summer's not it's not a fun season no more. Global warming done clip that.
It's not in New York, nah. It's pretty humid for the last like fucking 6 weeks. So I'm pretty tight. We have 80. 80, what's up?
It's been raining for a long ass time here. I ain't gonna hold you.
How's
Y'all probably need that though.
How are the Braves looking?
We got the Reds going on right now. Shout out to Ellie. You know.
Okay. Shout out to Ellie, fastest man on earth. You know what I'm saying? And we have special guests, first ever special guest of the season, possibly also the last, because I know it's crazy. We have none other than Rob, Ugly New York, pals
hey,
of
gang.
pals. What is up, man?
What's good? How are you guys? How y'all feeling? Feels right. I'm on the anime pod on my One Piece shit.
You haven't been actually. I think you were on an episode of the Lookout mad long ago.
I was?
I feel like you were because.
What were we chatting about? Was it
probably
DBZ
Dragon
related?
Ball. It definitely was.
Had to be.
Hold on.
Had to be that.
Let me see.
Was it DBZ?
Haha. So it was the. Why did I do haha? So it was the episode where Boo shows up and does the human extinction attack, and Goku turns Super Saiyan 3, and Gohan's useless off-screen training.
That shit was so dumb.
Majin Buu's dog gets shot. See, my dad's calling right now.
Shout out to Pops. I told you that's my man. That's my man's $100,000. I love me like that.
We're gonna talk to him after this episode.
And the crazy thing is, I've never met your dad. All I know is the stories you tell, and just based off that, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
So that was episode 19 of The Lookout. So you might have broken the record for the longest gap between episodes.
You feel me? I had to hit the indies, do the territories, and then I came back.
Well, listen, you're here because you've been watching One Piece.
I've been locked in.
Which is crazy. You've been locked in crazy. I want
to... It seems crazy, but no funny shit. I took like almost 2-3 months off because like I just got too much One Piece and I had to like reset.
That happens. That's gonna happen with me with this. I guarantee you. I'm not starting Thriller Park until probably like November.
No, you gotta keep going. Keep the momentum up. That's what I did. I just kept flowing.
Because you know why?
I know if I stop, I'm never coming back.
You know why it's crazy? Because we've been doing this entire summer. So I watched this arc before the summer, and now I'm watching this arc again during the summer. So now I'm really like, yo, I'm ready to kind of like move on and talk about other things and move on about other things. But One Piece it got me. So I want to know the question: at what point in this One Piece thing did the show grab you?
Did it grab me?
Yeah.
You
were like, this is kind of lit.
To go to your first point about like when you started, I started when it was cold outside. Like I started like right after the live actions came out. So like that was like what, November around there?
It came out like late August. It came out like late August.
So all right, so I ran through the live action, then I got into the show, and it was cold. Like once I was still early, it was cold. Now it's like dead hot outside, global warming. When it got me, I think it was when he was fighting Crocodile and they hit the Gunther theme and he was wilding. I'm like, oh, this is nuts. And then from there, I just kept watching through, bro. Right after the Crocodile got beat up, I'm like, this is hard.
Nah, I'm not even.
Arlong was fire too. Like I liked it once they got to Arlong Park. I'm like, all right, I'm in. But then when he beat the shit out of Crocodile, I'm like, all right, let me stay. Like,
I think this is the arc that like really grabbed me. Like before I was watching and I was like, oh, I get why people like this. Oh, I see why people like Luffy. Oh, I see why everything. But this thing kind of like solidified with me. Maybe it's because it's like hard hashtag friendship going on here and everything with that. Also, I want to know for LJ and AD too. Like, what's the point where One Piece kind of grabbed you? I know AD is a little bit more involved because this is your favorite anime, but LJ, where like One Piece grab you in your first watch or read since you're reading it? Because that's what Carlos told me. Carlos told me to read the thing. He's like, I don't know why you're watching this. Read it,
bro.
That's crazy. He told me to watch it. Like mad people told me to watch it, but the last time I seen Carlos, he was like, "Yo, watch it," and then I'm like, "All right."
Yeah, here you are. History was made.
It got it. It's Enies Lobby. I tell people like I was telling you before though. I agree with Carlos when he told Meelz, reading this is way more enjoyable than trying to like crank through all the episodes. But no, Enies Lobby. When I got there, that's when I was like, oh, okay, this is what it's all about. Right. I felt Alabasta and Skypiea, they were good for sure. Arlong Park, I think up until Enies Lobby or Water 7, I'll say, Arlong Park was probably my favorite. But even then, I was just like, it's good. But once we hit Water 7 and go through Enies Lobby, I'm like, this is okay. Like, I understand now. I understand the One Piece lore. Like, I understand why people are sitting in and staying in for, 1,000+ episodes. And so, yeah, I think it was just at that point where I was like, okay, it grasped.
AD, what about you?
It's been a long ass time, so I wouldn't even be able to tell you for real. But I think it was.
You were just tapped in as a kid.
No, like I want to say. I mean, I was tapped in like that. I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna just run it. But I want to say, Baratie, like it was the Zoro versus Mihawk shit, and I was like, oh damn, like how the fuck is Zoro gonna do this? Like how he's gonna get past this? And I just was locked in from there, like Nami backstory. And of course, Alabasta was, but it was really just that first part because even the stuff before that was like, I don't know.
The giant sword is crazy. Like to see visually, it's like who thinks of that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's multiple times where I read or watch One Piece, and I'm like, how do you even think of that? Like, where does it? Like, for instance, Spandam's sword, which is an elephant. Like, where do you even think of that? Like, how does that even happen? You know what I'm saying? It's fire. They made it work.
It's nice that we get an explanation for that too at the end of this arc.
Yeah, for sure. It's great. Like, I think Oda, overall, I always recommend if you watch it, I always recommend you reading it because the manga is really like closer to kind of like the artist depiction and everything. Once you get to the anime, there's a lot of like creative liberty that sometimes people take, but ultimately, like if I'm telling people, like for instance, My Hero, I'm gonna say read it first, then watch it.
I've yet to tap into My Hero. I'm slacking.
My Hero's
the manga or the anime, or both.
Both.
Yeah, you gotta.
You might just.
Isn't it about to end?
You gotta jump
anime,
in.
Or
it's about to end.
The anime is cool. The anime is cool.
I'll catch it when it finishes and run through it.
Next year, got you.
Exactly.
I'm assuming it's gonna be next year. But we're gonna talk about that soon because My Hero Academia, the manga is actually ending, and we're gonna have an episode on it, and we're gonna talk about it. And I'm looking.
So Meelz, you only get a week to grieve, brother. Then we picking up different manga. We expanding the palette.
Nah, because manga's kind of crazy right now. I don't know if you know this, Rob. I don't know if you tap into any manga. Manga's crazy. We got Jujutsu Kaisen, which is you watched.
That's what. Okay, so when I took the One Piece break, that's when I started up Jujutsu, and I'm like, this shit is nuts. And then I had to go back to it.
It's like way more nuts now. Like it's actually like on speed right now. Like it's crazy. Chainsaw Man. Have you ever watched Chainsaw Man?
I've peeped here and there. It's pretty cool. I like it visually.
Yeah. They're also nuts. Kaiju number 8 is also nuts, but I think it's ending. There's a lot of like manga Sakamoto Days you'd love. You would love when that anime comes out.
Hey, listen, good fits galore.
Should I read it?
There's nothing but good fits.
Should I read it or wait for the show? Because I know they're getting a show.
They're getting a show, so
you can't go
read it, bro.
Read it.
To me, either way, you can't lose. If you prefer watching it, I would say watch it. I don't know how it is watching it, but I know reading it is fucking great. Like, I love Sakamoto Days, and I think you love Sakamoto Days because it gets crazy. But yeah, it's definitely a different experience. But let's talk about One Piece. Let's talk about this Enies Lobby arc because we're wrapping it up here. This is our largest sprint since we have recapping these episodes because we're pretty much getting to the end, and this is the part where, this is a very 2000s anime kind of thing, where they spend like 30 episodes with various people fighting other various people, and having to overcome them. And to me, my first take of this, to me, the longest version of this happened like in Naruto. I forgot which, but it's like the last arc that matters in the original Naruto, where they're in the woods and they're trying to because they stole fucking
Sasuke retrieval.
Yeah, the Sasuke retrieval shit. Nah, that shit went forever, bro. Like that, that went forever. I was like, stop, please. I skipped episodes. I was like, please, like I can't get them running through trees for another 7 episodes, bro. Like, come on.
I never really got into Naruto.
Couldn't
do it. Just couldn't do it.
It's not.
You picked up the best big 3. I'll say that.
You'll see. Have you watched Bleach, by the way? Let me ask you.
I have, but I didn't really like it like that.
Yeah. If I had to rank, actually, let's do this right now. Rank the big 3. Which one do you enjoy the most? AD, besides you, you know what you enjoy the most.
Like in general.
Right. I'm lying.
Like in shows
80,
in general
first.
and like and all that stuff.
Yeah, 80. You go first.
I mean, because I started with Naruto and Bleach first, it's kind of funny. But then it's like One Piece, Naruto, Bleach.
Okay, LJ, you.
The same way. One Piece, Naruto, Bleach.
Rob, you never seen Naruto, but
so it's not gonna be Naruto for me. In this current climate, it's gonna be DBZ. You could group that. So like you could group DBZ and
I'm gonna let DBZ in, but DBZ is not one of the big 3.
For me,
it's like not. It's your big 3, yes, but in terms of
I understand.
Big 3, go ahead.
Mine would be that. It would be One Piece. One Piece got up there, bro. You already. I showed you. I have the. I've been there.
You got the chopper.
Oh, that's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because like I bought clothes from like One Piece years ago off of Uniqlo because they've been doing collabs forever, and I knew of the show and all that, but like now it's like official. And then 3, it's a good one, bro. You know what? G Gundam is my favorite shit, bro. I always go back to G Gundam.
Okay, classic. I've never watched G Gundam. I've only watched
one
Gundam ever in life, bro.
Watch G Gundam,
bro.
He
had to force him for this show to even watch a Gundam. It had to be my pick. I had to put him in the position. I had to like legit put him in the corner and be like, "No, we're watching it."
This is true.
Crazy.
True. We watched it last summer. Of course, mine out of the big 3 that is One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach. But
it's not.
Naruto is good. I understand why I'm date myself. I understand why the kids like it. Naruto is like Kid Cudi for a certain era, right? He's like Kid Cudi.
That's probably why I don't really like it.
Like Naruto's like Kid Cudi changed my life. You know, the songs that he had, Pursuit of Happiness. That's the Sasuke.
That makes sense. That's a good. That makes sense now. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, but it's crazy. Come on, Man on the Moon. You know,
you already know what my thoughts are. Listen, I already talked to y'all this week about Kishimoto being a fraud. He should have went all the way with what the story should have been.
Listen, man. Listen.
Because he had hella good ideas. Like, it's a lot of great work in there.
It's
but
not touching. It's not touching the OP though.
No, but it's like towards the end of Naruto, it's starting to feel like what's that last Cuddy album drop? You dropped Insano? Like
I don't even
it
know.
starts to feel like that. Like it starts to
I ain't
feel like
listened to a Cuddy album since In the Cut, so I don't.
yeah, nah, it's the same. The same.
It's the same.
Enies Lobby. So we're picking up where we left off last time, and where we picked up last time was that I want to live, like that whole thing.
I started crying.
I
want to live too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to be free too. You know what I'm saying? And then One Piece does this thing that it likes to do, where it'll randomly cut you into filler.
Nah, yeah.
Bro, I was lost. I was so confused. I was confused. I thought something was wrong with my Netflix. I was like, hey, man, my Wi-Fi been acting janky lately. Like, I don't know what's going on. I was just like, what? Why am I in feudal Japan?
Right?
Hey, if there's a One Piece filler that people should tune into, what would it be?
it's actually the one before the Water 7 arc. It's the G8 because it's actually pretty good.
Ooh,
That's
okay.
like the only one.
All right. That's the okay. I'll at least tap into that. I'm glad you said it was before Water 7, so I don't have to go too crazy with it and try to figure out like that later down the line.
Yeah.
So we get to this point. It's probably one of the best moments of the show by far. It's the combination of their dedication to Robin and how far they're willing to go. It's the combination of Robin's journey where we kind of figure out where she's at, like her whole back history, with her knowledge. And it's the combination of now we're officially going to get the Straw Hat Pirates versus CP9. This entire arc gets crazy. And it's like separated in different kind of like eras, but I'm trying to imagine like shout out to the Marine who called out this day. Cause he's the real MVP. Like the Marine who was like, nah, I'm sick today. Nah, I'm not gonna be able to come to the cause. Because the entire island by the end of this talk about is going to be gone. For the last probably like I'm gonna say 3 hours real time in the show, they've been getting beat up by like one guy and like giants, dude with 3 swords, a fucking sniper, all these other things. Like it gets crazy this episode. I want to talk about Straw Hats versus CP9. Spandam pretty much grabs this gets very like video gamey in a sense of like
Yeah.
he grabs Robin and says, I'm taking her to the gates of agony. And your goal is, i.e. Luffy's goal, is that you gotta go save her. You know what I'm saying? Very Super Mario-esque. But then they throw in this random plot
Side quest.
Yeah. Of like actually, there's only one set of keys that will free Robin, and now you have to fight all members of CP9 to get the right key. And I was like, why was this? Go ahead.
But low key, though, low key, that's good thinking. That's just good villainy.
Yeah.
Because the whole point is to waste time. Like
the whole point is, I'm gonna hold you up as much as possible so I could get to this ship, get off this island, and get this prisoner somewhere. So I'm not only gonna send my best fighters at you, I'm gonna make it completely confusing where you have to fight each and every one just to get this one thing.
Yeah, that shit was nuts. You gotta fight a giraffe, a wolf. Shorty that turned you into like a bubble thing. Like that shit was fire. I thought it was cool. I thought that part was cool.
No,
you gotta fight a lion that we thought was an octopus the entire time.
Yeah.
It's not that it's bad, but to me, it's like this is random. Like it just came out of nowhere in a sense. But I get it. The sea stone handcuffs, they cannot be broken for whatever reason. They can only be opened by a few set of keys, and each member of CP9 has a different set of keys, and that is how you open them. It complicates this whole thing, but in this situation, they're like, Luffy, you go after Lucci and Spandam. Everybody else, we're gonna have like these random fights. So I want to go through these random fights. Shout out to outside. I don't know what's going on out there, but I want to go through these random fights. We can kind of talk about just quick thoughts on them or long thoughts. But it gets crazy. Frankie versus, I think his name is Fukuru, the dude with the zipper for the mouth, who can't shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That's good graps right there.
Yeah.
That was two meaty men.
The real hoss fight.
Frankie unites with the hands, man. Listen.
That's real hoss battle, baby. It was nothing but guns and fists.
Bruh, they were punching each other so crazy through this entire thing. Frankie was like, I can't beat him unless I have my cola. And I was like, I feel you, because I also want a cola right now.
He sound like a black grandma. Like, he just need Pepsi.
They gave him vegetable juice and he turned into something. And then what was the other one that they gave him?
Like
green
tea.
tea.
Yeah.
Green tea.
He can't walk home.
Gave him what's that green tea? Gave him Arizona. Gave him something like, they figured it out. But
that's what I'd be running off of if I was Frankie. It's nothing but Arizona.
Arizona,
for real, yeah.
Just 3 from 1.
Yeah, listen, that's real value, and you get a lot.
Yeah, no,
Pop the jug,
cans,
you
listen.
good.
it's still potentially still $1. Might be $1.25. Where you at?
Listen, bro, you can get a case. You can probably even get it for the wholesale.
You know what I'm saying? Frankie uses his Coupe de Vent cannon to defeat Fukuro, and he takes his number 4 key. And yeah, great, great back and forth. This is how we started things.
Hey, so after this, Frankie consistently has really good fights in this series.
Yeah,
I
he has a
Frankie.
good showcasing.
He always has a good showcasing. I can't off the top of my mind say a weak Frankie fight.
That's what I was saying. He's one of the more underrated folks in the Straw Hats. Like, no matter what,
It's not even about strength. Like, oh my gosh, like he's so strong. Like, it's like his fights are really entertaining. Like, his fights are really fun to watch. They always have some layer of like humor to it that kind of offsets it from the rest of the things that are going on. Like, his Frankie fights are always like, they're always really fun to watch. Like, they're always entertaining.
What's one that I
one
should
of my
look
favorites?
Senor Pink.
Senor Pink is the best one. It's literally it's post time skip, but like that one is, you got to watch the whole thing though, Meelz. It's a lot of stuff that goes into that, especially
that's what One Piece people always say. I gotta watch the whole damn thing.
No, but that's it's specifically Senor Pink. It is specifically him. That's the other part.
Okay, all right. Well, listen, there's a lot of overlapping during a lot of these fights. It'll be one person's in, and then one person's out, and then one person moves, and then one person's not. But the one we got a tag team battle right here. We got a tag team on the card. We got Zoro and Sniper King versus Kaku and Jabra. And Kaku finally gets to use his devil fruit powers, and he turns into a full-grown live giraffe. I'm talking Jeffrey the Giraffe from Toys R Us kind of giraffe. Like, I'm talking, I don't even remember if there's another dude. Is there another cartoon giraffe that I should be worried about?
Cartoon giraffes?
That's like the main one.
Yeah,
Jeffrey's
the thing was giraffes marketable.
Really?
Let me look. Let me see.
First thing that came to mind was that infomercial with the
Madagascar. The giraffe from Madagascar.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, nah, sure. Shout out to the giraffes. You know what I'm saying?
They really might not be marketable. Niggas not really fucking with giraffes.
He was really trying to sell that shit though the entire time. He was like, giraffes are awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't fuck with us.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, giraffe, so flexible with mine. You know what I'm saying? So much that his own partner Jabra was like laughing at him. He was like, bro, I'm a wolf, you a giraffe. That's kind of nuts.
It's like when you gotta defend that weird music taste to your friends. You're like, no, I promise you, you're just not listening to it right.
Listen, man. He was like, I don't know why you even took that devil fruit, to be real with you. Unfortunately, Zoro and Sniper King get locked together with another pair of Sea Stone cuffs. So now we have to find their key as well to be able to open their, keys. And their key is number 2, which neither of them have. So now Chopper had to go retrieve another set of keys from somewhere, and that's how he ends up getting into the fight with
Kumadori.
Kumadori. There we go. So we're gonna get back to the tag team battle because first of all, in this situation, to be able to defend himself and fend himself off, rather than Zoro, because Zoro's now missing a hand, so he can't use all three swords. So now Sniper King has to act as a sword, which is
That shit
hilarious.
had me rolling. He
They
just
pan
pulled
over
it.
to the shot with him holding
the fact
the.
that his first suggestion was, hey, whoever, what was it? They flipped a coin or play rock paper scissors. Like, hey, whoever got to get their hand cut off. That's just what it is.
It's crazy.
The Chopper will put it back on.
Yeah.
Chopper will put it back on is a wild way to justify it.
No. So then we get to first it's Nami versus Kumadori, and Nami's nearly bodied during this entire thing. She's nearly taken out, but she manages to get the key. So she's not playing games. She's smart. She's like, I'm not even finding these people. If all we need is the key, we need to go get the key. So she gets the key for Kumadori. But then Chopper has to jump in and face Kumadori because it's going thing, and he has his rumble balls, and his rumble balls are like what changes him into his changes him into different forms, and he's eaten two, and apparently two is too much already. He's not able.
He on that TRT pack, got the AGH on him.
Listen,
steroid era.
He is not able to control which form he's in, so he's getting stabbed by Kumadori's hair, which his hair does a lot of different things. Apparently, he is a lion. But he ends up taking the third rumble ball. After, they get a little backstory of him. It's like, you never take the third rumble ball. He turns you into what I would say a monster. This man turns into the Beast Titan himself. This man gets crazy. He beats up Kumadori so bad and then throws him into the next town. Like, legitimately, throws him. They're like, what the fuck was... That's Kumadori! Oh my god! Like, bloody...
Mad shocked and shit,
yeah. And then he's like, yo, all he's thinking is like, yo, I gotta get the key. So now he's like climbing up the side of the castle. They're trying to save him. It's this whole other thing. Again, all these fights are starting to blur together as well. Any thoughts on this Chopper Kumadori fight, or Chopper just in general before we move on?
Man, listen, my son took it's the last shot before the blackout.
Yeah.
He was like,
you're gonna
he
go
took
there,
that last shot.
Yeah.
It was just like, hey,
if you're gonna go there, go all the way. Fuck it.
He's there too.
Listen,
can't come back from this one.
Julio won.
He's brought back to normal after Frankie blows him out of the tower into the water, but he's pretty much out of commission after this.
That's also crazy. Like, he's a doctor, so how the fuck you get fucked up that bad and you can't heal? Like, come on, man.
You know what? I want my doctor like that. I want my doctor to be able to crash out on himself, because he'll at least know the human body limits, and then be like, hey, listen, don't take 3 of these. I've done it before.
Yeah.
Not a good look.
So then we get to Sanji versus Khalifa. And Sanji's trying to smooth talk his way to the secretary. And what's crazy is, first of all, the only thing I remember seeing initially when the whole Sanji and Khalifa part, I was like, yo, Khalifa's forehead is booming. She got a 5 head. I was like, goddamn. Okay. But she manages to get the best of Sanji in this moment.
Sanji got good taste then.
You got
all baddies got a big forehead. But hey, listen, all baddies got a big forehead.
But wrong decision. You know what I'm saying? Just wrong decision. He gets turned into some sort of mannequin or whatever, some slick mannequin, and then Nami is the one who has to fight Khalifa. Shout out to the girl having to fight the girl. Basic anime trope.
Also, I gotta point this out real quick. They do the creators of Food Wars redrew this entire fight in the manga. They have a whole thing. So it's a special chapter type thing that came out a couple of years ago.
Link that. I need that. We get Nami versus Khalifa, and Nami's trying to figure out, what is her angle? What does she do? How did he get the best of him? And she pulls up to her. First of all, she's in the bathtub, taking a bath. And I was like, this is already getting crazy. I thought One Piece was different. You know what I'm saying? I thought they
Nah,
weren't.
Oda the King Horn.
Yeah.
I thought there wasn't no Jiraiya in this series or anything
Oh
like that.
no!
Like,
As you continue, you'll see, bro. It gets
okay, all right.
Let's say Keith Van Horn, man.
But so she gets out. She does her thing. Nami's trying to like beat her in a sense, but then Nami feels her power sapping away because she throws a bunch of soap on her, and I think then her leg turns into what happened with Sanji. But she eventually does figure out the way to get around this is by putting water and pretty much using water to just rinse it out. Um, from there on, I think she turns into like a.
I feel it took so long for her to get to that conclusion.
This was a pretty
It
long
did.
fight. I'm gonna keep it a buck. We breezing through this, but this was a long part of the series. like,
Oh no! Yeah,
No,
that
like these
that fight
fights
was.
took so long.
like she turns into like a lamb or a sheep with soap or something along those lines. Like she's sheep
Yeah.
mode or whatever those things. Um, but eventually she does figure it out, and then at some point also Chopper pulls up and like throws a whole bathtub on Sanji. Uh, go ahead. What are you about to say, Eddie?
I was trying to recall because I do remember this was also during the time that Chopper pulled up through, like during the fight as a
Yeah.
monster before
Yeah.
Frankie took him out.
Right. Yeah.
But it's
So
so I was gonna
go
say
ahead.
this is so funny because we also get to see her use her new weapon like in an actual fight. Like this isn't the upgraded thing that Usopp was working on. You know, one of the last things it's the climate attack. Now you know we ain't ever really seen Nami fight for real. The last time she actually had a fight was in Alabasta with
Yeah, I remember that.
the original one, and it was like party tricks back then. So
Hey
like
man,
to see
listen,
it to
we
the
about
full
to
extent now.
season 2 live action. She better get on the actor better get on her P's and Q's, better get on her action style because she gonna have a fight for her life. Um but now we definitely get to see her use it. She uses her Thunderlands tempo. Like it's very elemental attacks, you know what I'm saying? She got everything in there, man. She got the tri
You know, she
attack,
got her Avatar, the Last Airbender. You know,
she got flamethrower, she got blizzard, she got thunder, you know what I'm saying?
She's Mother
Bought all the
Nature.
TMs for that, you know what I'm saying? But she managed,
Earthquake. She
yeah,
got it all.
got it all. But she manages to take out Khalifa and gets the key. I think this is the one. This is the one that ends up being the right key. Am I right?
um,
I
Uh,
damn, I'm
believe
trying to
it
remember.
I think so.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it is. Um, also during this thing, Luffy versus Lucci starts, and then we see like, yo, the way they introduce Gear 3 to me is crazy. Because it's just like a matter of fact kind of thing. He's like Gear 3, and then he turns into this tiny little thing. Um, we gonna save Luffy versus Lucci for a little bit. Uh, in a little bit because we're gonna get to it real quick. Eventually Sanji gets revived. He goes up against Jabra. He manages to defeat him, take his key, and then Zoro versus Kaku. They go pretty hard in the paint. Zoro
The
used,
best fight out
yeah,
of all these.
yeah. That's
It's
what
the
I'm
best
saying.
fight.
Listen,
Yeah, I enjoyed that one a lot.
he used, I forgot what the technique was called. Um, Crazy technique to end up winning.
The Demon Asura.
Ashura,
Yeah,
demon god
Yeah.
Ashura.
bruh,
He was like,
amazing. Yeah,
does he have, was it 6 arms and 3 head faces?
that's it.
Nine
Not very good.
swords.
Stupid.
Or is it just
With
my
dog.
giraffe powers is bugging out on me? You know what I'm saying? But
Turned himself to a little turret.
he
Turns like, man, he would.
Hey man, shout
That
out to
fight was
Oda.
so good.
Yeah.
That fight was so good because it was a, you know, I think Zoro has this obviously a lore about him. We all love him. He's easily the coolest character on the thing
yes,
on the show. And I just think this fight was just a great showcase of skill. And it was just like really creative, even in the jokiness of it, like really creative of how the attacks were like, you know, presented and thought of. So, you know, even as a giraffe, the way that he was actually able to use some things to his advantage, and it was able to manipulate like his body parts, you know, like he was able to turn himself into cube. He was able to shorten his neck and make his limbs longer. So I think it was just like the even the awkwardness of the fight. It was so fun to watch. It's the best fight of all these, easily.
I like this. I mean, don't get me wrong, it goes on for a bit and some of the fights kind of drag on longer than it does, but it does show like the strength of the Straw Hats. And it shows how they've come along, how they can kind of hold their own in even these battles. CP9 is like some of the most elite of the world government. Like CP9 ain't nothing to fuck with. Like those people that they're beating up for the last 20 minutes outside, they're nothing. But these guys, just 2 arcs ago, were stabbing holes in their chest and throwing them into chimneys and all types of other shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like CP9 ain't nothing to mess with. It shows the development of these guys, and it shows like they can hold their own, and it's really really tough. Um, During this instance, Spandam gets, first of all, Spandam, hilarious, problematic all the way through this entire thing. The way he's
I like
beating
the
Robin. What happened?
I like the fact that he has the mankind mask.
I like, you know what I like about him?
And
I
it was
like,
my brother told me that too. My brother, he's been
yeah,
watched it
yeah,
and he's currently reading it. He was like, "Yo, if you look at certain characters, they're based off actual people." So he was like, "Oh,
right,
Spandam has the mankind mask." Then he
right,
told me, bro from Skypiea was based off Eminem. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
yep.
And then there's another cat. I forgot his name. Is it Killer or someone else that's based off of like Joey Jordison from Slipknot? So like
Mm,
a lot of these characters are based off of actual people. So
that's
I thought
fire.
that shit was cool.
Yeah.
Um, I'll say, what was I gonna say? Shit. No.
Oh, okay. Last wrestling reference.
Okay.
Mhm.
Going back to the tag team match. Has there ever been a wrestling match where a tag team partner has gotten switched out mid match?
Switched out mid match.
Like switched out, like
Like how Sanji was like, "Hey, Usopp, go! I'm finna come."
I would say
Uh,
so. Yeah, they used to do that. Remember Adam Pierce last year? There was a thing where Judgment Day had to defend the tag team titles, but then like one of them got injured. So like I think
so
he
the
like
Freebird,
sub. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They
the
But
freebirded
did
Freebird
him.
that
was
happen in the middle of the match, or did it happen before the match?
I
I
think
think it happened. Oh no!
was it
You know what had happened? You know when it definitely happened. Um, the
didn't they do it in
Bloodline.
NXT?
They do it in NXT too, but I remember the Bloodline one because I remember Jimmy Uso gets hurt in the middle of the match, and then Sami Zayn comes in for him to defend the tag team titles with Jay against,
Yeah,
I
that's right.
think it
Yeah, it did
was the
happen.
Bloodline. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that
It
definitely
did.
has happened before, but no, it's incredibly rare. But this is crazy. This is
That's what I
nuts.
thought. That's just all I thought of. I was just like, has that ever happened in like a real wrestling situation?
Yeah, definitely.
No, yeah, it's
Um,
happened, but it's rare.
but so Spandam it's super problematic, super crazy. Um, very like he's putting hands on Nami. He's grabbing her. Nami tries to like hold on to the bridge with her teeth at one point. Like I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like she's really like she's like, no, don't do this. But at some point during all this, Spandam, in hilarious fashion, but not hilarious fashion, enacts the Buster Call by accident. Like
That's nuts too. That
This is
was
this moment right here is easily probably the funniest of the entire Enies Lobby.
when he realizes that he's done the Buster Call, and then he also realizes that he's been like talking over the loudspeaker to everybody in the entire island, like just unintentionally funny stuff. I like Spandam because for the main villain of this series, it's not the typical main villain for the series. Like he's weak. You know what I'm saying? He's not like someone who like gets to the next level and then like can transform and suddenly he's like this big giant beast. It's like no, he's a scaredy cat. He got a sword. That's an elephant. Like he's running away from a lot of these things and he usually gets what's coming to him and that's kind of awesome. Whereas like a lot of these, like you look at Skypiea and you look at a lot of these arcs, there's usually like the big bad. And I guess this one it'd be Lucci. But I'm gonna keep it. Let's going into Luffy versus Lucci. This is my hot take.
Mm-hmm.
I dislike this fight so much.
You wasn't fucking with it? What
I
happened?
wasn't at all. I feel like this fight to me, um, because of how they cut out of it so many times, it
I can
felt
see
like it
that.
never really got anywhere or really got started. Nor do I feel like it had a really great ending either. Like to me, I feel like I never really fully. It felt like the same thing happening for mad episodes to me. When you compare it to a lot of other Luffy fights, you compare it to a lot of other um, fights in anime and things like that. Like it's usually a build up to something. This to me
Mm-hmm.
felt like they were going back and forth, and kind of like the same thing. Giant hand punch through the thing. Giant hand gear 3. Da 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 da. But it never really jumped into another gear for me. Um, no pun intended. Um, and I don't know. I wasn't really feeling. I came across this. I came across this conclusion today because I'd watched this for the third time, and I was like, I don't feel like this is any more awesome than the first time I saw it or the second time. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Am I bugging or not?
Uh, I can see how you would be like, all right, this is with the amount of cuts they did. Because like 1 minute they're fighting, next minute everybody's like running up the steps and trying to
Yeah,
catch
it felt
Spandam
like
and
the
all that stuff.
Buster Call was probably the more important thing to have to deal with during this fight than the actual fight
Yeah,
itself. Like, I don't know.
I liked
This is-
it. Like it's not my top fight, but I liked it. It was cool. You
Hey,
got to see
please.
where how far Luffy would go
You
for
can
his
see the gears
friends.
in AD's head turning.
Oh no,
Yeah.
because I get it. It's like I understand that. It's one of those things where Oda has so many moving parts. So at the same time during this fight, he has to kind of set up, well, even if this fight is done, the Buster Call got enacted. How these niggas gonna get out of here anyway, right? So
Right.
like Lucci's whole job in this entire fight in the first place is to just hold Luffy off. Like he's gonna try to kill him, of course, because that's his job. And we even get Lucci's backstory during this time, or like a part of it, where he's been like this. He's been like a killer for the government for a long time, like raised up on it. So it's one of those things where it's like we have to set up the end all be all. This is what if Luffy can't stop him, if Luffy can't go all out with him, how are we gonna do that? Like we even get to the point
Right.
where Frankie catches up and it's a little tag team for the moment and he's taking out Frankie and Luffy has to go gear second and be like, no, you gotta keep going. We still got other shit that we gotta handle.
Right.
Like so it's a lot of things that have to happen, but Luffy still has to take it out. So I get what you're saying. Like there's a lot of cuts, but it's Oda also setting up, well, we still gotta somehow, some way get through all of this. And that's one of those things where I kind of like it because it doesn't take away from the fight for me. Like they even have a point where Lucci cuts into the side of the wall because they're underwater. So he cuts into the side of the wall and starts flooding the tunnel where
Yeah.
everybody's running down to try to get to Robin. And it's one of the funniest scenes where they show the grandma turn into a mermaid and
Yeah,
everybody's
that
like,
was crazy. That was
No,
nice.
that was a funny bit with Sanji and all that shit.
I
yeah,
was
Yeah.
I was no, that was crazy. But if it's definitely like a lot of things going on during this fight, and it's hard for me to like stay invested with it.
The fight lacks importance, like that important thing
Yeah,
for me. Like
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this fight, although it's good, and I think that's the disappointing part of it is like, okay, you finally got the captain versus who we will now consider the big bad, and they're like the Zoro fight felt more important than this.
right.
Like the
And you
Zoro
know,
fight felt like there was more on the line, more at stake, more kind of like feeling like a more definitive like ending to, or like something at the end where you're like, okay, I feel satisfied with this. Than
mhm.
this, I think the constant cutting. I think the fact that
And then
even the play by play of the fights were just so similar every single time.
I also feel like I don't know how much Lucci wanted to really body Luffy.
oh no, he
Like
did. he wanted to body him to the point where it was like he knew that Luffy was coming down the hallway when Spandam and Robin were walking with him,
Right.
and like so he knew it. He was just trying to let it happen.
But I feel like he was doing this like competition fight thing. I felt like it was more of a competition between them than actually like I'm really trying to end you. Maybe I'm bugging, maybe I'm remembering this wrong. But I compare this to like I look at a situation like Goku versus Frieza in Dragon Ball Z on Namek. And that's a situation where the planet's blown up and there's like mad other things happening. Someone's got to burn a wish. Gohan's got to carry people over there, like all these other things. But you know, ultimately, like this is the fight. This is the end game kind of thing. This is how we get to the goal here. And I feel like that isn't necessarily established with that fight because ultimately the big bad is Spandam. Because like Lucci is just like a henchman. He's just the overpowered henchman. So I feel like it's also his lack of not necessarily his importance, but his not really being the big bad of this at all.
I think that's where it's like a misconception because you say that Spandam is the big bad by the title, but we know like Luffy knew from the jump. I gotta go take out Lucci. Like we know that like by definition,
he's the biggest threat for sure. But I
Yeah,
feel
he's
like
the most powerful. But I don't.
Yeah.
But like, he don't got no boss in him. Like he ain't got no like.
he
I
do
don't feel
because
like
like
boss.
Spandam was scared of Lucci. He's like, I'm still your boss, and it's like
Lucci still take orders.
Okay,
Even when they're walking down, even
he
when they're walking down the hall, he was like, "Hey,"
guess I
he's
gotta
like,
follow
"Why
him.
didn't you stop the?" He
But
said, "Why
even
didn't you stop the young girl?" He was like, "You ain't give me no order to." He still take orders.
But that's what he was playing the nigga. Like that's what I'm saying. Like even all the people who were under him was like, "Why this nigga is my boss by title?" So I guess I gotta listen to him. Like even when he called the Buster call, when everybody heard the shit on the side, was like, "Why we let this nigga have power again?" Like all of them,
right.
all of CP9. So it's like,
don't get me wrong. Like he's an idiot, and he's not like threatening and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. Like that is Spandam to a T.
it's
But
just a
ultimately, like,
nepotism, baby, bro. Like that's all he is.
he's the one who has like the backstory and the history, and he's the one who like called the shots, and he's the one who set up the plot for this entire arc.
Nepotism. It's all nepotism. That's what I'm saying. Like
it's he's the big bad in all this. And Lucci, I mean, Lucci gets the little backstory where he's like he pulls up as a kid, he got no hairline and shit like that, and like he got like they're like, oh my god, he's the most threatening kid. I can't believe they sent this kid, you know, from the world government and stuff, and then he kills everybody to kind of show like what a real cold-blooded killer he is. And I'm not sure how Lucci's arc continues after this, but I know he's part of the series moving forward. Like not like moving forward like part of it forever, but he's going to be incorporated somewhere later down the line. I just know because I saw the fight.
Slight spoiler. You know what? Spoiler, but no spoiler, but a spoiler. They run it back.
Yeah,
they run it back. I watched it.
They run it back.
Yeah, and
I like the second fight a lot more than the first. Second fight is crazy.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. Like maybe at some point Oda during this is like it's probably going to set up to something different, and probably like liked Lucci, considering how much he's used, I guess, throughout the show. But I just felt like this fight didn't have the stakes like the Sky PO1 or the Alabama. Like it didn't have like I didn't feel I felt danger. Don't get me wrong, but
felt danger.
But I didn't.
The real bad guy was time. It was a race against time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the real bad guy was like, "Oh, the Buster Call is showing up. We really got to get the hell out of here." So eventually, Frankie makes it up to the bridge, but he gets blown off by a fucking landmine. But then he comes back again, and it's this insane part where Sniper King, so the first episode we did this, we argued about Usopp and his role with us.
Mm-hmm.
Is this peak Usopp in this series or nah?
It's his second moment. Like it's his second moment. He has another moment kind of like down the line a little bit, but up to this point, it's probably peak Usopp.
No, it's definitely that. It's peak Usopp. But see, here's the issue. Here's the issue with Usopp.
Okay.
It's one of those situations where once you got that stench of lame on you, it's really hard to wash it off.
Like,
it's like I get it, I see you do this, right? But it's like I know you, I see you. You know, like
we ain't talking about it. We ain't talking about it. But like, he's one of the first people to meet up against Jobber, and Jobber's in the room taking a nap, and so this nigga's like, oh, he got his key out. I'm gonna just goddamn creep up on this man. Like, come on, man. Like, it was a whole bunch of cartoons.
This ain't a fighting contest, bro. They had to get the key. This is why I thought this was
bro. It's not even that. It's not even that. I think he did his. I think he did his thing on Enies Lobby. I completely think he did.
Listen, Sniper King's it's a different vibe. You know what I'm saying?
But once again, man, it's just
like he took the mask off when Luffy was on his back. You know what I'm saying? He was like, bro, you gotta get up. Like, this is his peak moment. Like the sniping niggas from long range from on top of the tower, crazy. Probably his best moment though. I ain't gonna
probably his best. Getting the keys over to Frankie, he's able to unlock Robin. Robin gets her like light revenge on Spandam by like using, you know, I forgot what the attack is called. But the hands come out of Luffy and really like slaps the shit out of him for like 20 minutes.
Doesn't she like break his back, or I'm tripping?
That's it. That happens like last episode.
At the end.
Yeah, at the end. But she gets her thing. It's a real like cathartic moment where you're just like, yes, she's free. But even still, she's kind of like struggling because she's still, it's that back history. It's that trauma that she's dealing with. But she overcomes the trauma. And now she's fighting alongside Frankie. And then everyone gets over to the thing to try to save her. And now it's like this big brawl to me that also went a number of episodes. I was like, this could have been one episode. Like the One Piece got.
It went so long, and it was just so like
they had to fight on the bridge. Then they had to steal the ship. Then the Buster Call actually gets in, and we get like
someone had to fuck up Zoro's sword, and then someone.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Luffy and Lucci still going on. You know what I'm saying? Like
I really want to see how this gets cut down when the remake happens.
Yeah,
because like they're gonna cut these episodes down crazy.
So I'm assuming, here's my thought with the remake, and we've talked about this before. I'm assuming all these, they're gonna do seasons, arcs, things by like 24, 25 episodes, kind of like a standard anime thing. So I assume East Blue is gonna be 24, 25 episodes. This is my assumption. I could be wrong. It could be 12 episodes. I could be wrong. Like they could really cut every fucking thing out. But I'm assuming there'll be 24 episode arcs kind of deal, which is still 24 episodes to get through East Blue is way faster than 66 episodes. So
for sure.
Well, part of that is filler, but still, yeah.
So it's definitely, I'm looking forward to see what they do with the One Piece. But yeah, we could have cut this clip down. Luffy final moments against Lucci. He goes the Gum Gum No Jet Gatlin, throws him through the tower wall, defeats Lucci. For some reason, the guard felt inclined to be like, "We have an announcement. Lucci has been knocked the fuck out by Monkey D. Luffy." And it's like
have Michael Buster on the call.
But I'm like, what? I guess yes, people should know. But like, if I'm Lucci, I peek my head up and I shoot a laser or something. I don't know, something. I'm killing that guy. You know, he's going dead. You know what I'm saying? He's going down. I'm gonna remember this. So
should have had Samantha on the call. She would have killed it.
Yeah,
I knew.
Right? No, he's not champion. So now it's getting a little crazy. They're trying to get off of, get out of the gates, get out of Enies Lobby. Enies Lobby is like half blown up at this point. The Buster Call is bustering. It is blowing shit up. It is knocking cities down. The poor Frankie family and the Galilei and everybody who was left there without an actual bodyguard, they're running for their lives, fighting for their lives. I don't know how they make it out of it. I mean, I know how they make out of it, but it's crazy how they make it out of it. But you know what? It's anime. They should have. If this was Attack on Titan, they'd be dead. You know what I'm saying? This is,
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
they would have died they would have died on the train or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? The train ride
Yeah.
there. So we get to the point. It's after Luffy has used Gear 3, Gear 2, all the gears. He cannot get up. He cannot move. And like AD said earlier, it's Usopp who's the one yelling, like, Luffy, get up, Luffy, get up. And then we hear a voice. And Usopp is like, wait, is that you? That's gotta be, you know what I'm saying? And he hears a familiar voice, and everyone's hearing the same voice. It's giving me very Digidestined kind of vibe. And they hear the voice, and they see it's the Mary. But before you see the Mary, they're like, everyone jump into the water. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I would have never done that.
You
Like,
wouldn't have jumped.
nah, I don't know.
You gotta
Unless I
believe in your
jump,
ship.
like jumping is crazy. The episode ends with everyone like, yeah,
Oh, pose it in the air.
yeah,
It's like
posing in the
Disney Channel
air,
thing.
just jumping.
Bumping up. This is Zoro. You're watching Disney Channel.
I know, and it's the Going Mary. Shout out to Mary. Going Mary held him down in a I was gonna say Mary major way. Very, very major way. What are you guys' thoughts on this moment? This is the some of the final moments for the Mary. There's some real magical shit going on here.
Yeah, nah, this is what power of friendship is all about right
You feel
here.
me?
It's a full circle moment. Like
Yeah.
the whole arc started with them trying to fix the Mary, and it ends right here with the Mary saving them. So it's like, I ain't gonna hold you. I ended up watching the episode today. I kind of teared up a little bit, like, God damn, bro.
Yeah, I know.
That's what it's all about, bro.
It's really what it is, man. So the Mary comes out. They could have put some like guitar on that bitch. Like it could have like sailing away. They're trying to stop them. Everyone gets their like special. This is the second to last episode where everyone gets their special move in to knock the cannons back at them. Everything, kicks, swords, using Luffy. Everybody's like, it's just awesome. They're like, how are we gonna get around these whirlpools? And Nami's like, don't worry, I'm a navigator. I'm gonna navigate us around these whirlpools. I'm not just a fighter. I'm a navigator by trade. So they managed to get around it, and Robin breaks Spandam's back, which is amazing.
There we go. Yeah,
No, that was so crazy. It did they hit him with the Mortal Kombat, like the X-ray. I was like, damn.
Come out.
So we get an appearance from Admiral Koji. Shout out to brother. It was a sense like, Admiral, if we send some other ships, we can grab them real quick. And he's like, not today. Today, we have been defeated. The world government, for once, has been defeated by the Straw Hat Pirates. He was like, let Robin go. I'm not trying to chase it. We're not trying to kill people.
They finished the story, baby.
Yeah, they really did. I felt it in my. I was like, yo, they finished the story. You know what I'm saying? We get to the final episode of things, and they meet up with the Galila crew, whole boat. Ooh, Galila just pulled up. Were they coming to Enies Lobby? Like, were they?
Yeah. No, they actually was, because they were like, oh shit. This they had the flashback with the Mary sailing away because Iceberg fixed it up a little bit. So they were like, hold on, we gotta head out, because I don't know if I don't trust this. We gotta see what's up.
Listen, shout out to them. Shout out to them for braving the sea all after the fact. They pull up, and as soon as they pull up, Going Mary is just like, all right, I'm out.
It was time, bro.
It was time. She broke in two. She was like, nah, I'm out. And
listen, bro. She had that Kobe going away, man. She was Mamba out.
Yeah. She said, listen, I've taken you this far. I've saved you this much. We got you to the Galila people. It's too much to handle. And they're like, can we fix her? And I was like, nah, ain't no fixing. She's gone. She's done. It's a wrap. And they had, the little their goodbye to Mary as all of them watch, and all the flashback, the great animation on this episode too. Listen,
Yeah.
I take notice of that, man. You got some
One
good
of the best
animation.
details, it was like they
Yeah.
played one of the last ending themes because we don't get no more ending themes up until like the end of Wano up until this point.
Hmm.
So like they let that ending theme play with all the flashbacks with
Okay,
the
so
Gary
they
and the Mary.
don't.
Yeah, nah, no more endings. This was the last one.
Because I knew after it was just like, hey, we're done. Like, episode done. Hey, see you next week.
Hmm.
Right.
Man, listen, them opening themes ain't hitting like, it's kind of what?
They
Them opening themes.
they give Mary the Viking funeral, which is essentially burning him to death. And the soul of Mary is like, sorry, I couldn't, thing. And they're like, no, we're sorry. We're sorry that, what does he say? Usopp thinks he's a shipwright, but can't really fix you like that. I'm sorry for all these other things. It's a great tearful moment. It is. It's saying goodbye to probably one of the earliest members of the crew. And yeah, it's the end of Going Merry, and it's the end of the Enies Lobby arc. Like, this arc for me, and I know probably next episode when we talk about the post Enies Lobby arc, which will not be that long of an episode, to be honest with you. If I didn't know how, I don't want to say inconsequential, but I didn't know how much nothing happens until I saw it. I thought things happened, but something happens. It is what it
It's
is.
a lot more. It's just some reveals and
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's more chatting with the pals,
Yeah.
figuring out next steps. Hey, listen, they throw a barbecue.
Yeah,
Can't throw a barbecue like that. So
they said, I'm looking at the fandom page on the story impact of the Enies Lobby. It says a lot of things happen in this arc. It says Luffy introduces Gear 2, Gear 3. Zoro develops his 9-sword style. Sanji unleashes Diablo Jambi. Chopper utilizes Monster Point for the first time. Nami uses the perfect climb attack. Soga King demonstrates his new slingshot Kabuto. And the remainder of Frankie's cyborg tactics are revealed. It says, what else? I'm trying to find big. What do you think is the biggest kind of like story plot that Enies Lobby kind of has within the One Piece kind of like lore? I'm gonna ask you, 80. Like, what's
It's
the biggest
literally
last impact?
the biggest lasting impact is the fact that like Luffy and them ran up in there and won against the world government. Because after this point, like the whole world is put on notice. Like Enies Lobby was one of the 3 points they introduced as like government headquarters or government like areas as Marine headquarters, Enies Lobby, and then impelled down the actual like Alcatraz jail system or whatever. So like the fact that they took out one of these three great powers, like ran up in there for one person, had them like destroyed, even though it wasn't their fault, like the Buster Call to get out everything, all the stuff that happened in this entire arc because of Luffy, like is it in itself is the biggest thing. So
No, that's fine.
you gotta think before this, only 3 of them had a bounty on their head, and it was all for 3 separate reasons.
Well, let's save that for the next episode. Let's save that for the next episode.
I was just gonna say it's just like it's more so just like AD said though, this put Straw Hats on the map.
Right.
And this also, you see how other pirates start acting towards the world government, and they just start being like, "Hey,
these niggas kind
you
of
just
pussy.
run up on y'all too." Like,
Yeah,
this don't mean nothing. Like you think about in the future, especially the arc after Thriller Bark.
Yeah, the
like,
arc after Thriller Bark is where like if you watch Thriller Bark down the line, Meelz, don't just take it with a grain
I'm
of
gonna
salt.
watch it. I'm gonna watch it. You know what I'm saying?
Thriller Bark is good. And it
yeah.
has one of the endings, one of the better endings of a few arcs. But no, like, but you really do see though that now that Straw Hats have established themselves, and also too they have weakened the image of the military and the world government. It's like floodgates open. Everybody's like, "Hey, we
gotta watch out
everybody's
for them
not."
boys.
It kind of just it gives everybody that +10 on confidence. And you start seeing everybody kind of start wilding. You see everybody now is like, "No, we really finna take it up to this next level on this pirate shit." It was like,
But it's also like the first time that like before this arc, they would usually run away from Marines. Like all through Alabasta, they were like, we ain't really trying to fight them. Like we ain't got nothing to really, take them out for real. But this
Right.
is the first time they're like, nah, we ain't got no choice but to run up on these niggas. Like somehow, some way, we gotta just like get shit done. It's like,
What? No,
go ahead.
I was gonna ask Rob, like, what are your lasting thoughts of this arc?
I think this really set it for me. Like, it introduced Frankie. It showed him that like they burned the flag. They burned the flag. They
Burn the
set
flag was
against war.
crazy.
They put a war against the Marines, the entire world government. That's crazy for a couple random pirate crew. Like, it's a bunch of different cats on this crew, and you just declared war on the world government to save one person. Then it sets up
That's
a whole
real.
domino effect. Like they were saying that all the other pirates are looking at it different now. Even the ones that are safe, all the warlords at the time, they're say looking at it like, oh well, if he can do it, his bounty goes up. You got Shanks looking into it. Everybody's like, all right, he's not just a random pirate. Son's good with him. So like it sets up crazy. After Water 7 and all that, it gets nuts.
Right. Um. So this is the end of the Enies Lobby arc. Um. I'll say this. I'm going to watch stuff after the post Enies Lobby arc. Right. Water
No,
7
yeah,
saga. I'm gonna watch your stuff. I gotta watch other anime first because I'm in the middle of Viral Hit. I'm not sure if you. Viral Hit is wild.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yes,
It's on Netflix.
No, it's on Crunchyroll. Actually, maybe it's on Netflix. Netflix is going crazy too right now with the anime, but it's definitely on Crunchyroll. It's weird. It's not something I can binge because one episode is kind of enough for me. So the plot of it is that this kid wants to become this viral sensation, becomes this viral sensation for getting beaten up. So to continue to get followers on YouTube, he has to continue to throw himself in random fights and
what? That sounds nuts.
yeah, it gets crazy.
That's definitely a Kai stream.
It's definitely
That's definitely the Macho Speed.
it's weird. It's weird as hell, but I kind of like it. I like it better than a couple other stuff that I'm watching. So I'm watching that. It came out last season. I don't think anything during the summer anime I'm really watching outside of My Hero, um, which is also nuts. But yeah, so I'm watching that.
I didn't know Oshi no Code came back. I'm about to tap back in.
yeah, same.
Um, but with that said, first of all, I want to thank Rob for pulling up on the episode.
You already know.
When we do more
Go
One
watch the
Piece.
movie. Meelz. I've been on my movie shit. The
What
movies is
movie?
fire. The One
Oh,
Piece
all of
movies.
them?
Well, they don't have any connection to like the stories like that.
Oh,
Like,
that's good. I haven't seen any of the movies yet, but I'll definitely
they
check
on
it out.
Netflix. The only one that's not on Netflix, I think, is Stampede.
Okay, all right,
Which
definitely.
is crazy. That's low key the best one.
Nah, yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that show.
actually,
Yeah, I got that's top movie for me right now.
All right,
That's
definitely
like
gonna tap into
that's like the Avengers of pirates. Real shit. Everybody in that movie, bro.
Listen, man. First of all, thank you for pulling up, man. Thank you for talking One Piece with us.
You already
Um,
know.
Thank you guys for tuning in and listening to this episode or watching this episode since we're on YouTube. If you haven't watched it, head over to the YouTube. Be throwing up clips. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, at some point, become a YouTube partner. You know what I'm saying? Start getting this bread off YouTube. Um, but with that said, thank you guys for tuning in. We got one more episode of this thing left, and it's the post Enies Lobby arc. I'm trying to figure out how we're gonna talk about this.
I say just a wrap up, like feelings on, what I'm saying.
Yeah,
We gonna touch on live action?
we gonna. So I was thinking about it, but then I was like, maybe we should wait closer to when the second season is coming out. I feel like
We can talk on the next. I mean, post in this like it's not too much happens post in this.
right. That's what I'm saying. Live action. My thing about the live action is long as fuck. So, like every episode is like 60 minutes long. And I know the story, but it's just long. I want to be able to like, okay, really like settle into it and then get hype for the second season that's coming. So I'm thinking now maybe we should push that uh to when the second season comes out. But we'll figure that out.
They lost Jamie Lee, but I think she can come back. She could be the mermaid.
Jamie Lee Curtis can do whatever she wanted. She could be the mermaid now. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be fun.
Jamie Lee is
I
the
wonder.
mermaid. Gonna go
I
stupid.
gotta see how they do Chopper. Some CGI shit.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
I'm
what I'm
saying.
like.
But you still need a voice actor or somebody, so we're gonna see who playing Chopper.
They gotta have Rob do it.
I just saw I'm on the fandom and I see Blue Nose anime post time skip fit and it's fucking hilarious. In the green jumpsuit with the flower in his head.
Oh, that's from the movie, I think. I think that's from the movie. I think that's from what is it? Not gold, red, the last one.
Is Blue Note black?
He mixed.
Yeah.
He mixed.
Maybe.
I know Rob Lucci look like my dad's neighbors in the Heights.
It's crazy. All right, listen, we'll be back in a couple of weeks. Actually, we'll be back next week because we got to talk about fucking My Hero ending. So we'll be back next week and talk about that. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.